everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Let's Talk podcast. My name is Kamisha Whitaker-Moore, and tonight I'm joined by my co-host and family, starting with my daughter.
Kaylin.
What's up? Y'all know me.
It's me, Ron.
And thanks so much for joining us on today. Today is a continuation of what we talked about on our last episode, and we were talking about love and the different things that come with that. Tonight or today, we're going to finish that out and just kind of finish it out with a bang, ask more questions, answer those questions, and see where we are. So hopefully you guys will definitely enjoy. All right, here we go. So the last time we were talking about of course, it was love. Then we were talking about soulmates, and we talked about is love a choice or is it a feeling, and all the things. So I want to kind of go back and talk about soulmates, because I was thinking about something on the way here. I was thinking about, how sometimes when you think that your parents are meant to be and that they are soulmates, and not so much you two, but me and both, because I truly believed that my parents were soulmates. But I also know that they're not together, right? And they are divorced, and, they raise us and all of the things. Do you feel as if people are definitely meant to be together and they are soulmates, but yet and still sometimes things can come in and separate and destroy relationships? And even though they are, or you feel like they are meant to be, that this will and can happen?
My take on that is like soulmates. When we say that, I don't think they necessarily have to be soulmates in the fact of they're married and they're together, because me personally, I think my mom and my dad are better friends now versus when they were married. I'm the youngest one, but I feel like a soulmate could be not just a mate. I feel like they could be a friend, or they could be just like the balance of what you're supposed to be. Whatever you're not, they are. You know what I mean? Like that.
I understand what you're saying. To me, honestly, I feel like, and maybe a lot of people do, that their parents were definitely meant to be together, but then something comes in and destroys that relationship for a season. And you're right, they are better friends now because you are the baby, so you didn't get to see some of the good days or some of the family moments that we did have, because you were too young to understand a lot of those things. But I feel like, people can be soulmates, and then we let situations, people, the devil kind of creep in and destroy a whole situation in the relationship, to where now at this point you're no longer together, but you're still okay, if that makes sense. And our parents had to find their way back to a good friendship, but they still did it. So I was just wondering if you thought that same thing, because I was just thinking about that. If that's a possibility.
I mean, like you said, I was the youngest one. I remember good times. You know what I'm saying? I remember unity and growing up happy, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But to me, overall, I think they're better friends. And like I said,
So you're saying no.
Do I think that my parents were meant to be together? I think they were meant to be in each other's life,
but not together.
But
I think that's because
together at this point.
Y'all got two different views.
Right.
We do.
So, I feel like you're going to have two different opinions.
Exactly.
Right.
You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Which is still correct, but that's very interesting, because y'all have the same parents. Y'all grew up together, but at different.
Yeah, different.
Right, for sure. And a different view on the whole situation, if we're just being honest. But I just feel like, excuse me, I definitely feel like I feel like my parents were definitely meant to be, but sometimes situations happen, and sometimes things happen, and sometimes our thought processes change and our needs and wants change, and so we change with that, whether it be for good or for bad. I just really feel like my parents were definitely meant to be together in a relationship, but that's not how things ended, and that's okay, because I feel like God knows everything, and everything happens for a reason. And so, regardless of what happens, regardless of what did and didn't, we're here now, and we move on, and we do those things. So that's just my take, or that was just an opinion. Just a question that I was thinking about. So moving on to more questions about love. Does anybody have anything they want to recap on the last time we had this whole session?
No, not that.
No.
I do believe, like, as we were thinking about it and talking about it, like, I do believe in soulmates.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe in soulmates. And like you said, we're not perfect. We're a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
And that soulmate, like I said, could be everything that you're not, like the balance
Right.
of
The
that.
yin to your yang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because at first, when you first look at soulmates, you're thinking of like, okay, this is the perfect person. Life is going to be easy. But that's coming from a perspective of me never being in. I've been in relationships,
but never a soulmate.
but never, man, a soulmate type of, like, I felt like I was at one point.
Yeah.
I felt like I was because I've had emotions with a certain person that I never felt before. It was all new to me. And when whatever happened, like, I didn't recognize myself for a little bit because I was like, is you crying? Like,
Yeah.
are you sad?
Yeah.
And I had to give myself a pep talk, and I had to talk to God about it because I really didn't feel like myself after that.
Yeah.
We live and we learn, and God strengthens us in our weaknesses, and we become better.
Yeah, we do. We have to. Honestly, because you can't stay in that same state and be I want to say successful. You got to keep on moving or what have you. So I totally understand that. And I do I remember one of my last questions, and I kind of laugh about it or smile about it because we talked about physical attraction and love.
Right.
And and I remember you and Cameron's conversation. And in that moment, I was like, wait a minute. I always thought my son was more so like me, but he takes on different things from other people, right? So he thinks some things he thinks like me on, and then some. I look at him, I was like, okay, you and Bo got that thing together. But I think that, I don't know, women do the same thing too. I feel like we look on the outside sometimes and more so not on the inside, because if we did look on the inside, that guy that you are not, or that's not like, this is not who I would picture myself dating, sometimes it's the one that you may need. I'm not saying it's the one that you do need. I'm saying sometimes it may be the person that you do that you may need. So people, like, women pride themselves on, big hunky guys, bad boys, different things like that. And sometimes, honestly, you need that nerd. You will need a nerd, because if this is what you are accustomed to, and every time you choose this type of guy, then there's always a toxic relationship. Maybe you need to change the game up. Maybe you need to change up. I'm not saying change up your expectations, but I am saying maybe you need to change up what you think that you need. You may not need a hunk of a man. You may need a little skinny man, or you may need a nerd or something like that. Who knows? And I use the word nerd because nerds nowadays, they're not Urkels. You know what I'm saying? There's like super smart, attractive, business savvy type of guys, but everybody seems to want those ones that wear them little wife beaters with them big muscles hanging out and walking around like this. And so it's a different type of situation. So even though you may be attracted to this type of person, sometimes you may need another one, especially if your relationship continues to go down the same path. What say you?
I completely agree. A lot of times people go back to what they're familiar with. You know what I'm saying? And when you're familiar with something, because you're not having to start anything new, you're like, okay, I know if I do this, then he gonna respond this way.
Right.
And if you respond this way, I know I can act this way. But to me, I feel like the bad boy, the nerd, all that. I think a lot of that is a phase. Some people are still looking for who they are. I've been in relationships to where that I know that I made the woman feel safe, but I knew if I cut up just a little bit, she was gonna be like, "Oh my God, that's my man. Y'all better not say nothing because I know he gonna hit you. He gonna do this, whatever. Like, don't touch me. My man gonna do this. My man gonna do that." And then there's other times where I just wanted to be calm and cool, but because this is what she was familiar with, and she saw me do this. I've had to put on a show at times. Like, I wasn't jealous.
I got you. So,
Yeah.
what is that though? I mean, why would you feel like, okay, so let me just say, you feel like you put on a show to make her happy or to make her feel some type of way. So, Kaylin, you're a woman. Do you feel like the shows are necessary? Do you feel like if someone you like, don't come over here touching her, man? Do you feel like that's a necessary thing to make you feel like, oh, do you feel like that's necessary?
I'm not gonna lie, sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes.
I got you.
But
Cam,
not all the time.
not all the time. But Cam, do you feel like it's necessary to do that sometimes? With like, with Kendall, with other people or whatever the case may be. Do you feel like that is a necessary type thing to do? Does she need that?
Well, I don't think she needs it, but there's a certain time and place for it for sure.
Yeah. I got you. Okay. I'm just asking. All right. So anyway, carry on.
And I want to say this because I want to ask this example from my niece, Kaylin. In the past, when we would all kind of congregate together and we went out and this or whatever with a lot of my nieces, did you feel like and I was there in my presence, did you feel safe? Did you feel like that anyone could come up to you and say anything and your Uncle Bo would not react?
Yeah. So if someone came up to me, he would definitely react depending on the situation. Like if it was a guy, like if we were at the bar or something like that, and I'm telling like, hey, get off of me. Like a guy's next to me, hey, get off of me. And he's not willing to move.
Yeah.
He's going to come up and he's going to be like, okay, you need to move.
And I mean, honestly, that needs to happen. That's supposed to happen because you're supposed to protect your niece and all that stuff. So that definitely needs to happen. So I understand what you're saying. I just sometimes I'm just wondering, if we do things like this, does this make the your girlfriend, your wife, or whatever the case may be, more like, oh my God, he loves me? Or do you know that this is just a show that he's trying to put on because there's no, okay. I was just wondering.
I hope they wouldn't put on the show.
Yeah, because
at
times
huh?
like that.
I said I would hope you wouldn't put on a show for something like that because, that could escalate very quickly.
Yeah, for sure.
So times like that would be genuine times. When I say put on a show, I mean like
not necessarily a show, but you're protecting somebody, and it might go from point A to point B.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Okay,
yeah,
100 miles per hour.
Okay, I got you. So, another question: do you believe love can exist without trust? I don't think I asked that the last time, but do you think love can exist without trust?
No.
Why not?
In order for me to love you, I have to trust you because I need to be vulnerable enough to open up, to communicate. And with communication comes that trust.
Okay.
And without it, I don't feel like I can make it to the next level, to being in love with you.
Okay.
But having love for you.
Okay. What about you, Cam?
I'll also say no as well. Because when I just feel like they both go like hand in hand. Because for me, like if I can't trust you, then I definitely can't like give you 100% of my heart, if that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect. What about you, Kay?
I said no, but I don't know because I've been in a situation to where the trust was broken.
I was gonna get
the
you
trust
that
was
next.
broken,
right?
Because of cheating. But I forgave. And I continue to love. So I guess I don't know. That's kind of hard because
right. It was a 2-part question for me because I understand what y'all are saying, and this is where the double standard comes in from men to women. If I'm being perfectly honest, if I am your girlfriend, if I am your wife, right, or a significant other, and me being the woman, and I'm in love with you. And then you cheat on me, I am hurt. I have to process that. I need to deal with that. But does my love stop for you?
I don't think for most women, I don't think the love stops. For men,
Right. So this is why it's so easy for you guys to answer the question of, well, some of y'all, do you believe love can exist without trust? Because if you lose your trust in me, then you've lost everything in me and you're willing to walk away. But as women that love the way that we love, because we're totally wired a little bit different, that yes, sometimes we deal with things that we don't want to deal with. And I'm not saying we're dealing with cheating or whatever the case may be, but sometimes we deal with things we don't want to deal with because we love you and we stay right there with you and beside you, and y'all are willing to pull out and walk away.
And that, like you said, because of the wiring of men to women is different. Because for you, if correct me if I'm wrong, if a man cheats on you, he's physically cheated. He's maybe stepped out and had sex and did all that. For a man, cheating is way before that. You don't even have to. The beginning of cheating for a man, you don't necessarily have to sleep with someone
I
else.
totally agree. We talked about that last time.
If mentally, if your mind is there, then you're already gone. For a man, it's a mental leave. For a woman, I think it's more of a physical leave. Like, I'm willing to leave if you cheated on me mentally with another man, and he has your mind, he has your time, he has your emotions.
Right.
Like, he can make you move emotionally. And for a man, it's the opposite. It's physical.
Right. It's definitely a physical attraction. Like we were saying the last time, when I was watching this podcast, and it said that when men cheat, or when husbands cheat on their wives, or when men cheat on their wives, it's more because they're sexually attracted to what or who they cheated with. If women cheat or leave, it's more of an emotional attachment because she's detached from that situation at home and attached herself to another situation. And I totally believe that. But even with that being said, even if I emotionally detach myself from my husband and I cheated, and then I'm like, okay, I made a mistake. Who forgives and who does not? We as women tend to forgive a whole lot faster than men tend to forgive. Am I right or am I wrong? Sometimes, for sure. So that's what I'm saying. Do you believe love can exist without trust? And sometimes love can exist if you hurt me, but I'm starting to gain my trust back. My thing is, if love exists without trust, is it really love or is it lust?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was lust, because to me, all things lust are sexual.
Okay.
To me, I would say,
if I'm with you because the only thing I'm with you for is because of what you do for me. And can lust be the lust of money and the lust of gifts and different things like that you give me? I might not be in love with you, but I love what you do for me. And it doesn't have to be sexually, but it could be because you put dineros in my pocket, you put rings on my finger, you put shoes on my feet, you do this, you do that. So can that be something too?
Yeah, I think that's the difference between a connection and an attraction then.
Yeah.
Of course. I might not be attracted to you. You might be ugly as Shrek. But what you do for me, I'm loving. Yeah. So is that actual love or is that lust? Because you are putting all these things in my home and you're taking care of me, and I find nothing attractive about you. So yeah, I totally get it. So I'm not in love with you. I'm lusting. I'm not even lusting after you. I'm lusting after what you can give me. Is that such a thing?
Yeah. Yes. Yes and no. I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, and the lust of just what's going on and what's what you're doing and stuff like that. And I completely understand it. But for me, because I feel like I'm a literal person, I feel like it's just like is it a likeness? Is it a greed because of what I expect? I mean, but you could definitely probably call it lust.
Okay. I totally understand that. Do you guys feel like with all the dating apps out there, all the things that we can find somebody on or meet somebody on or whatever the case may be, do you think that has impacted the way that we find true love or the way that we experience true love? Do you think all these dating apps have disrupted the old-fashioned ways of trying to find true love?
Most definitely.
Where did they tell y'all to find true love? Where you find love at?
Let's say the church.
At
grocery.
church,
Oh.
right? So now we
Like,
on these
what?
dating apps. That's if you go. Now we're on a dating app. There's so many. Blackpeoplemeet.com, Tinder, I don't know. Let's just say bubblegum. I have no idea, but there's so many apps out there, so many things where you can meet people and you're not actually meeting people. You're just seeing people, oh, she's kind of cute, let me DM her. Or he's kind of handsome, let me DM him. And so we're doing things like that and we're not taking the time to actually get to know people. We're DMing people because off of a picture. You know what I'm saying? And so we're talking to each other by way of technology, and then we meet each other, and then we fall in love over a phone, and then all of a sudden we're together, and then we can't stand one another. So I feel like technology, different things, people work. Sometimes dating apps will work, and people are good with dating apps, and they've been married for years and years and years. But has that definitely disrupted the way that people should honestly be true with one another and actually meet and talk to people and get to know people like on a solid level?
I think it's not just dating apps. I believe it's social media as well, because you can get on
for
social
sure.
media and people could post something and other people will have this expectation going in a relationship of this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And sometimes relationships not like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of me and Cam's generation is like that. It's like social media is like, I don't know, it's not good for relationships.
Right.
You know? That's
I
just me
totally get it.
personally.
Because 9 times out of 10, I'm just saying, you can probably meet somebody through your DMs because they're DMing you. And people
Right.
have been in relationships because of DMs.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you get to meet that person that you've been DMing and they're not who you think that they are. Or, you can get in trouble from DMs. It just doesn't matter. But it's all the same thing. It's just social media, period, where you guys are not meeting. Like, say, for instance, you go to church. You're not meeting anybody at church because everybody's on social media trying to meet somebody. Everybody is DMing somebody and trying to figure out, well, I want to find true love. But we're finding true love in the wrong spots. And sometimes it works out for people. I'm not going to say it doesn't. There's one lady who met her husband online and they've been married for a long time, happily married. But sometimes, is that always the way to go for the younger generation?
No.
Some people are so desperate for love, and instead of waiting on your husband to, like, biblically, I cannot say it, but per the Bible, how your husband is supposed to, where it says, when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. And so we're out here trying to chase down people that don't want to be held down. That makes sense?
That's I feel like a lot of our generation too, because of how they're being raised. They're not being raised with love. They're being raised to be, what is the word I'm looking for?
Is it to be independent?
No. I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But they're not raised with love. They're raised to be, I cannot think of that word.
It'll come to you.
Survival?
Yeah, in survival mode.
Okay.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Okay,
And I
okay.
think that's a lot of, that takes away from relationships as well.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I totally agree. What about you,
But yeah.
Cam? You being quiet.
Hmm?
Do you think so?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like you said, social media, I think, is definitely one of the biggest things that's caused a lot of relationships not to work. Because you see something and you think like social media is reality when it's definitely not.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally understand that. But I totally agree. I think that sometimes people are in survival mode and they're not looking for anything real but for something like right then and there that's gonna I need somebody to take care of me. So what do I need to do? Or whatever the case may be. But so yeah, technology, phones, apps, social media, it definitely has knocked the game out on, how people used to find love. And they became friends before anything, and now we're like automatically like, you cute, let's date. You cute, let's talk. Or I'm gonna DM you, you DM me, and that's what we got going on. So there's a whole lot of DMing going on, and just not a whole lot of other things going on. So yeah, I think we've kind of knocked that out of how things work. I know last week we talked about long distance relationship and how that works or they don't work, and I was thinking about that too. I was thinking, as a married couple, and if I believe that God gives us or sends us and we are soulmates, or you find your soulmate and they are working out of town
Mhm.
or they're gone and it's a long distance situation, would I think the same thing? Would I still think that long distance relationships may not work if they're your soulmate?
I mean, I feel like it'll work for a certain amount of time.
You still on
Just
that? You still
not
believe that?
forever, yes.
Okay. I got you. It makes sense. Makes sense because honestly, I feel like, sometimes even with their soulmate, they have needs that want to be met. And women would love to connect with their husbands and have emotional connections and different things like that. So I feel like if your long distance relationship is going to work with
Mhm.
your person or whatever the case may be, there has to be, like, again, common ground. There has to
Mhm.
be a meet and greet or a meet up or whatever the case may be. We have to take time for one another because
Mhm.
we can only do so much over a phone.
Yeah.
And sometimes we need to talk and connect. So sometimes, even at church, if you don't go to church for a long, long time, if you're accustomed to going to church and then you don't go to church for a long, long period of time, sometimes you miss that connection with your church members or your church family. And
Mhm.
so when you come, you get that connection that you need and then you're good to go. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
So I think that too. What sacrifices are worth making for love? What sacrifices are worth making for love? What would you sacrifice? Would you sacrifice your family for somebody that you love and that your family didn't agree with? Would you sacrifice that? Would you sacrifice anything? What would you sacrifice for love?
For me, I would say I don't want it to seem odd. I would want to say, what wouldn't you sacrifice for love?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm in love and this is going to be my person, now this, and we're making a family, now this is my family.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the family there. If we all connected in love, then we connect. Because love plus love is still love.
But what if they disagree?
What if your other person disagrees?
You dating somebody or the person that you're dating or that you're married to,
Mhm.
your family disagrees.
With.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
them, I feel
With
like that both parties will have valid points, and at that point, I feel like that person and the family, they need to talk.
Mhm.
And if we can't have that talk,
Mhm.
then I think that there will never be an understanding.
So are you gonna still stay with your family, or you gonna like the family that you created, or are you gonna you see?
Yeah, I see what you mean. But if we're going back
Mm-hmm.
biblically, um, I know that I'm paraphrasing. There's a part in the Bible when a man detaches from his mother and now he has a family,
Mm-hmm.
and you're clinging on to that.
Mhm.
So okay, when the Bible talking about a husband is to love his wife like God loves the church,
Mm-hmm.
in that particular moment in the Bible, and when God said, I'm trying to get to it without skipping over it, when they were talking about he was doing the will of his father,
Mm.
and then they were asking him about what about Joseph, or what about Mary,
Mhm.
what about your mom, what about your dad. He was saying, paraphrase, he said, who is my mother, who is my father, but
Right.
those who do the will of my father.
Mm-hmm.
So if the will of God is for me to love,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
and this is my soulmate and we're loving,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
who is my mother,
I
Got you.
who
understand.
is my,
I understand. I
you
do.
know what
I
I mean?
understand that. But what if the girl you with is just ratchet?
If
And
she's
everybody knows that she is ratchet. And can't nobody tell you that this girl is ratchet because you don't want to believe nobody. And everybody is telling you. So you still going to be like, who is my mother? Who is
Yeah.
my father?
who you love, who makes your decisions at the end of the day, who has to live with the decisions that you make, your accountability,
Mm-hmm.
who has to live with that?
You do.
Exactly. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
if I bring a woman around
Mm-hmm.
and this is my person,
Mm-hmm.
and my family disagrees,
Mm-hmm.
me and my family, we have this talk with my person.
Mm-hmm.
If out of this talk we don't come to some type of agreement,
Right.
then at the end of the day, I live my life as I see fit. And if you don't agree with my decisions,
Mm-hmm.
I can love you from a distance, or I can love you up close. However you want to do it, but I'm going to love the way that I see fit because that's my free will to do.
Yeah, I totally understand that. Do y'all have anything to say about it?
I would just say, well, to be honest, would that not like why can't she or other party, why can't they sacrifice, them not liking
Yeah.
that other, the families per
Right.
se, as y'all were saying. So I don't understand that in like that type of sense. Because if we're talking about sacrifices, then obviously if somebody don't like you, like the mother or the father don't like you, but you're still with that person, you have to make a sacrifice in order,
Mm-hmm.
just to either let it go or make it work.
Right.
So I just feel like that's kind of a loss, especially when you're the person in the middle.
Right. I totally understand that. I think that for me, I feel as if I get along, or I try to get along with everybody. I try to be nice to everybody. Even if I don't like you, I still try to be nice to everybody. But the thing about it is, if I see something that you don't see, and then I say, hey, this is what I see. And because I am mom, or because I am sister, or because I am daughter, they don't listen to me because you're thinking that I'm trying to protect you and I don't like anybody. It is not that. It's because I see something that you're not seeing because you are infatuation or infatuated with this person. And I'm seeing beyond all of that because that is not who I am with this person.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm saying, hey, please be careful or slow it down or whatever the case may be, I mean that because I don't want you to get hurt. But I have also learned to stay in my lane and to mind my own business and let people do what people do. Because if I tell you once and you don't believe me or you don't trust my conversation or what I see or what I feel, then I let it go and I leave it alone because it is not me. It is definitely you at the end of the day that has to deal with this person, and you got to go home with this person, not me. I do not, because I'm over here at my house chilling at 3,400 and y'all doing whatever you want to do. But my job is to honestly, when you need me and if you get hurt, to help you pick up the pieces and start over again. That is who I am, and that's what I do.
Right.
So I totally understand that. But the question is, what sacrifices are worth making or worth making for love? You
That's a hard
sacrifice it
question.
all?
In the
Sacrifice.
name of love?
Yeah.
Not all. I don't think
Not
not
all.
all.
There's some things that
I'm
some
just gonna
lines that won't be ever
Yeah.
crossed.
What lines are those?
Children.
That's number one.
Children. Will I sacrifice my child for you, for love? No, because that love
That's
for
a
my
diff-
child came from me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was blessed with this child with that love. So I will never sacrifice my child for love. But anything else, for the most part, I ain't gonna say I'll sacrifice everything, but I will say sacrifices will be made.
that you see fit.
Compromises,
Yeah.
as I see fit, because sometimes life has to be our teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we won't agree. We can't. We won't always see eye to eye, and we agree to disagree. And a lot of times, like you said, you try to be nice to everybody,
Mhm.
and you take. I don't. I do
Same.
not try to be nice to everybody. I love who I love. I love my family. You can have outsiders, and you can bring them in. If I see something in them that I don't like, I'm not gonna fake it with them. When they see me, they gonna see me looking straight through them, and they gonna tell, and they gonna say something to you about it.
But I'm the
Gotcha.
mean one. Come
Yeah.
on.
So this brings about another question. So if that's the case, let's just use Tammy for example. Tammy's our baby sister. Your older sister, my baby sister, right? If Tammy's in a relationship and we don't approve of who she's in a relationship with, right? I'm trying to be nice. You don't care
I'm
because
whooping
it you don't care and you're going to look straight through them. But if Tammy is our sister and she loves this person genuinely, do we still be mean to this person?
I don't think it's
Because I feel like sometimes we make sacrifices because we love the person that loves the other person that we don't care for. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like, I will make a sacrifice for my sister and be nice to this person because my sister cares for them. Not that I care, but because she cares and because I love her. One of my friends told me, and I love her to pieces. And I wasn't really caring for this person that she was caring for. And she said, if you love me, you would give him another chance. And I said, I love you, and I will. Did I want to? No. But she loved this person, so therefore I gave another opportunity or another chance because I love her. So I would sacrifice how I'm feeling for her and how she feels. So even if I'm not in a relationship, if I'm not in the relationship, we find ourselves sacrificing different things for different people that we do love. So there's sacrifices made all the way around this table.
And I won't.
I understand.
No.
I understand. So how do you express love? This is one of the things we talked about too. And I'm pretty sure nobody has read that book here. You read the 5 love languages?
I've been right when we were talking
you
about
did.
it.
You sure did.
When we were talking about it, yeah.
How do you express love? Seriously, how do you express love? Is it through words, actions, or something else? How do you express your love?
Well, one of my to have two. One is I'm a gift giver. Like I love to get gifts, and then 2 is gonna be touch, physical, like touching. Those are how I show my love.
Because that's how you want to receive your love.
Right. But sometimes it's not. I don't receive that type of love.
Right.
But it's different.
I understand.
So, okay, yeah.
But you express the way you give love is the way you want to receive love. Did y'all know that?
Yes.
This is how people do that. And so if people express their love to you in a certain way that doesn't make sense to you, it's not that they feel like this is how you need to be loved, but this is how they need to be loved. So if you look at that, you would be like, okay, I don't like this, but apparently you do. So this is how I'm going to have to treat you or make you feel. Okay. So what about you, Sir Woods?
Have you read it?
No.
Okay, well, tell him what the five languages are. I mean, the 5 love languages. Maybe he can pick the ones out of the one. I think it's like physical touch, gift, words of affirmation, the gift giving, quality time. I think it's one more. I can't remember.
Hold on. This is gonna be good.
So I'm interested to know what yours are, Cameron.
Do what?
I'm interested to know what Cameron's.
Cameron's
quiet time. Quality time. Sorry,
Cameron. Really though? Do you think so? Cameron's would definitely be. It's definitely going to be different.
Words of affirmation.
I'm trying to see what she's trying to say.
Who, me?
She's trying to pull up all of them. Well, we gave you 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
We gave you quality time, words of affirmation.
I'd say quality time and just like not gifts. I'd say like actions, like doing stuff for me.
I got you. That makes sense.
Is that one of them? That might be the last one. Yeah,
that is. It's because when people say, for instance, if I'm at home and there's dirty dishes in the sink and somebody washes the dishes, I'm super grateful. Some people find that very attractive in their mate because they don't like washing dishes. And so therefore that's acts of service. I think
the older
service
I get,
acts of kindness.
The older I get, actually people washing dishes for me is pretty, it's really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
I get up. I mean, I'm in the living room, Kendall putting dish in the dishwasher. Then I got all my clothes in the hamper.
Yeah, folded.
Yeah. And
there you go.
That's what I knew. I'm like, okay, because like I ain't never. I mean, obviously, Mama used to do it, but like me not having to do it and somebody else do it without like really asking, I was like, sheesh. That felt nice for sure.
So it was right. Acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch.
Yeah, I'd say what I just said.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what about you, Bo?
Mine is quality time and touch, physical touch.
Okay.
Mama.
I think as I've gotten older, mine has definitely changed because when I was younger, it was more so physical touch. But as I've gotten older, it's more so like acts of service.
Mm.
I don't really care about gifts. And the reason why is because I don't care about materialistic things because they're going to break, they're going to, die or whatever the case may be. So mine is more so acts of service and words of affirmation. Those are my things. That
Mhm.
fills my energy tank and I'm good to go. Quality time will be coming in at third for me. Um, but those are my top two for sure. For sure. And so if that's what you love, that's how you show people your love. But
Mhm.
that may not be Mark's love. That might not be how he receives love. That may not be Kendall's either. So you just never know. So it's super important to know your mate's love language
Mhm.
because you never know. Because if you don't know, you don't read your book, whatever the case may be, you don't know what it is. Because I know Mark is definitely quality time. I know his is quality time, but that's a low one for me. You know what I mean? But that's a high one for him. And so you have to sacrifice and compromise with things like that because if this is what your mate needs, then that's
Mm.
exactly what you need to do. And sometimes you have to sacrifice that. If you truly love somebody, you got to sacrifice things sometimes to do what you need to do to make your mate happy. Because there is no way that you can always receive how you need to be loved,
Mhm.
and you never give how you need to be loved. And if that's the case, then you don't need to be in a relationship
Mhm.
because people are always giving to you, and you're never giving to someone. And you can buy tons of gifts and spend tons of money, but if that's not my love language, I'm not accepting that
Mhm.
because I don't that's not how I feel like I need to be loved. But that's just me. What is the most powerful act of love you've witnessed or experienced in your life?
I just don't want it to be a generic answer.
What is one? I'm gonna tell you me one for me. Um it was a painful lesson and it was painful to see and to watch, but honestly, I always I knew my father loved us, and this is a parent love, right? I knew
Mhm.
my parents loved us for sure. No matter what they did or how they acted or whatever, I knew my parents loved us. But that one night where my father received third-degree burns on his body because of hot oil and it caught on fire in the kitchen,
Mhm.
um, how he, without hesitation, went into that kitchen because things had caught on fire to save his family. In in the end, where he had to go and receive therapy and have skin grafts and all the things, because he could have just left it there and took us out or do whatever, but he picked up a cast iron skillet with his hands and threw it out. And in the process of that cast iron skillet was so hot to where it melted, and all of that oil, it was on fire, and it just burned his body to like third degree. His skin was just peeling. And to me, that was one selfless act to
Mhm.
protect his family.
Mhm.
Give me somebody who loves me like that. I promise you, I'm going to do any and all things that I need to keep you happy, because he didn't have to do that. And that's one act of love that it speaks volumes to me, because anybody who's willing to sacrifice their life and to sacrifice those third degree burns, yeah, you gotta love me. You gotta love me. So that's one that really comes to my mind first and foremost. There's a ton, but that's one that really comes to my mind. What about y'all? Can y'all think of one?
Mm, might take me a minute.
I totally understand that.
Again, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm saying that's a tough one. It is a lot, but I'm just not too sure right now.
That's
There's a lot of stories that I could probably tell,
mm-hmm.
but for me, I'll say like even I'm talking about like an active service,
Mm-hmm.
still on the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I can recall a time. It's an action that I did, but I still think about it.
Mm-hmm.
We were in the salon. I think I was getting my hair washed. My sister was getting her hair did, and she was getting it dried. And for some reason, I think she said she had a pain in her chest or something. And then she was like, "I can't breathe, bro. I can't breathe." And I think my sister might have almost went unconscious. I jumped from the thing. I picked my sister up. I put her on my shoulder. I drove her to the hospital. That's when we found out that she had the mass on her chest. And they was like, if you hadn't got there when you got there, she might have could have died. You know what I'm saying? Like, for that reason, me and my sister Tammy, you know, we do this thing called H2H. It's heart to heart. Where my heart is, my heart here, because you know, I tattooed my sister's heart right beside mine, and to me, that's like I know that's love, but that sticks out to me because I think I would do anything for my siblings. You know what I mean? I would, like, when I love somebody or love anyone, like, there's nothing that I won't do for you, even if it means that I'm sacrificing myself or putting myself in harm's way just for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like that's something that my pops, that he did push down, like pass down to me, to have that same consideration, to have that same love for your family.
Got you. Makes sense. What about you, Kay?
Me? Oh, I would just say you, being a single mom, working, you know, I think your love is definitely one of a kind.
You got
No, I'm
jokes.
playing.
I'm a good mom right now.
No, I mean, we bump heads, but, you know, it's always the love. But, you know, just being a single mom, doing everything on your own, you know, working 2 and 3 jobs, keeping the lights on, food in the house. I think that's pretty, I don't know, I don't want to cry, but, you know, we're going to leave it there.
Yeah, I totally get that. It's hard. It's hard trying to do those things, but honestly, it's doable because, you know, girl, we made it. We're good. We grew up together. I say that a lot. We definitely grew up together. I was young, you were young, but we made it. Mama made it. Go ahead, Cam. What you got?
No, I would.
That's if anything.
No, for sure. I mean, I was trying to think of something besides, like, obviously you, but I guess just all the sacrifices that you made. Just, you know, me seeing that, I feel like anything is pretty much possible if you love somebody to a certain extent, you know?
For sure. I totally agree with that. I think love hides a multitude of faults for sure. And when you love somebody, sometimes we tend to look over those things because we love them so much. And it's okay for a little while, but sometimes we got to put them eyes on and see what we see and keep it moving. But there's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, love is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's only bad when you let people use you, or it's only bad when we're out here not doing what we're supposed to do and just falling for the okie doke, in which I don't agree with. But, you know, it's a good thing. And we love each other. We're a tight-knit family, you know. And I say this on the show a lot, and I say this and I mean it, but jokingly, I can talk about you, but nobody else talk about you. Because we're not doing that, because I love you. And you know what? And I take it, you know, I'm going to take up for my family. I'm going to take up for my sister. I'm going to take up for my brother, my kids, or whatever the case may be, because I love them. And that's just what we do, because we love each other. And my mom and my dad taught us that. You know, we love each other. We're gonna ride for one another, and we're going to do all the things we need to do for each other. And that's what love is, and that's what family does. So we have cousins, or we have family that kind of fall by the wayside, but we do what we need to do. All right. So these last few minutes here, we're going to take a little quiz. The quiz is, what is your love language? For real. Okay? So I feel most love when my partner does what, Caitlin? Offers comfort when I'm down, or cuddles me on the couch?
Cuddle me on the couch.
What about you, Cam?
Yeah, definitely the cuddles on the couch.
Okay. What about you, Bo?
Honestly, can't even answer that question. Can't, because I feel like the way that I love someone, I feel like I do everything for them, and just to see them happy, it makes me happy. So it doesn't matter.
Your partner ain't never got to make you happy, ever in life. Never.
Cuddle on the couch.
Yeah, he's a big cuddle bear.
I'm a cuddler anyway, but I'm saying I'm gonna be, as long as my partner is happy. Like,
that's never gonna last long. That's never going to last long.
That's honestly all I know how to do.
Okay, well, we're gonna skip you. All right, me offers comfort when I'm down. I love that part. I don't need you to fight my battles, but if I'm down, comfort me so that I feel like we're good to go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel love when my partner has a meaningful conversation with me or surprises me with something I've been wanting. What say you, Kay?
Surprises me with something.
Okay. Cam?
Meaningful conversation.
Bo, you want to get in, or you still about your partner, not about you?
I'm saying that's all I know.
All right. Skip has a meaningful conversation with me. Okay. I feel most love with my partner shows interest in learning and growing or enjoys a movie with me.
Growing and learning.
Okay. What about you, Cam?
Yeah, I'd say learning and growing too.
Okay. Me, I'm old enough. We should be learning and grown, but no, we always learn and grow. But I want to go watch a movie every now and again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, back to the question before, the meaningful conversation, or what was it, the gift?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's both. I mean, me personally.
You got to choose one.
I know, but I'm just saying I did choose my answer, but okay.
Okay, just one. I feel most love when my partner helps with house chores or lets me vent when I'm stressed. What say you, KK?
House chores.
Okay, Cam?
Yeah, house chores.
Yeah, me too. Them house chores. Watch them clothes for me, brother. All right. I feel most love when my partner playfully teases me or holds my hand when we're out.
Holds my hand when I'm out.
What about you?
Playful tease.
Me too.
I don't mind holding hands, but that's with the physical touch thing. I don't mind touching or whatever, but sometimes I just like your presence.
Yeah,
to be
I
like,
totally get that.
like we can be in the same room, or I can just play the game. You be on your phone, just you there is just
in the same room, and we're good. Yeah, I got you. I feel most love when my partner surprises me with my favorite treat or helps me overcome my fears.
Fear.
Okay.
Help me overcome.
Treat for sure.
Me too. I'm about them treats.
Mm.
Bo, you still out? Okay, you're out. All right.
Okay.
I feel most love when my partner cooks a meal for me or hugs me when I'm stressed. Let's start with Kim.
Cooks.
Okay.
Cook.
Okay. Hugs me. You can hug me. Don't cook. Mark. I love you. But Mark.
Mark Bolognese used to be good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Mark, you listen. We call it a bowl of mess.
Is that like the eggs and stuff?
It was like a Cajun boil. It had boiled eggs, sausages, just whatever. And Mark would call it a bowl of mess. And it looked like it, but it was really good. But it was just like a little Cajun boil with just like meat and eggs. I just jokingly, I definitely, when I'm stressed, you can hug me. I feel most love when my partner appreciates my intelligence or takes a weekend trip with me.
Weekend trip.
Appreciate my intelligence.
I got you. Okay, I'm kind of torn between the two. I like both, but if I have to choose just one, I'm gonna take that trip. Because he's supposed to already know I'm smart. I feel most love because I married him, right? I feel most love when my partner encourages me to open up or supports my personal goals.
Open up for me.
Okay.
Support.
Okay.
Goals.
It says encourages me to open up, not him.
Me, yes.
Okay. I got you. I'm gonna go with open up as well, because I tend to hold things.
Mm-hmm.
I feel most love when my partner makes me laugh about funny stories or joins me in my hobbies and interests.
Funny stories.
Okay.
I'd say the joining in the hobbies and interests.
I'm gonna go with the funny story.
I feel like your hobbies is for you.
But I mean,
I enjoy my partner enjoying my hobby.
Yeah, does that not make you feel good if like you doing something that you like to do and then your partner wants to join with you?
I like it, but then Mark turns my hobbies into jobs, and then I hate it. And we can sell this. No. No. So give me a funny story, because Mark is definitely a comedian sometimes. I feel most love when my partner remembers important dates and surprises me or runs errands for me.
Important dates.
Okay. What about you, Kim? Important dates?
Yeah.
Me too. I feel most love when my partner plans special dates for us or validates my feelings in
Validation.
Okay.
I guess I'm saying, yeah, validation.
Yeah, validation is very important because if
I'm
you
gonna say dates. We can't get me out of everything.
Yeah.
Some of the things I feel, other things I don't.
Okay, well, Mr.
there you
Self-Sufficient over here. I don't need
No,
nobody, but
no,
I'm
that
gonna
ain't
take
what it
care of
is.
everybody. Okay, I got
This
you.
is how I always felt, for real.
I feel you. I feel most love when my partner engages in intellectual debates or makes me feel understood. Understood for me.
Understood for me as well.
Intellectual.
Okay.
Yeah, I think intellectual too.
Okay.
You can grow from that for real.
You can.
Yeah.
I feel most love when my partner kisses me goodbye or supports my goals.
Support.
I'm down with that support.
Yeah, for sure. Support.
Okay. I feel most love when my partner takes care of household chores or shares my passion for learning. This is the same
Chores.
question and different things.
Chores.
Okay.
Yeah.
Passion for learning.
Okay. I feel most love when my partner attends family events with me or plans surprise parties for me.
Family.
Family.
Oh, for sure. I feel most love when my partner lets me vent without offering solutions or compliments me. Let me vent.
Yeah.
I'm not good at that because I usually, and that's Kendall really she don't like it when I do that, but I'd probably say what was the other one?
Compliments.
Yeah, because if she vents, I really try to offer a solution so she won't, but she don't be liking that.
No, sometimes we just want you to listen.
Yeah, I think that's their problem. They don't like to listen.
That part. I feel most love when my partner gives me a back massage or picks out a book that suits my interest.
A back
Can you
massage.
switch your book to a movie?
Yeah.
No, it says it says book. Which one?
A back massage.
Back massage.
Okay. I feel most love when my partner supports me during stressful times or pampers me when I'm sick.
Pampers me when I'm sick.
Okay.
Nah, pamper for sure.
Okay. Last one. I feel most love when my partner introduces me to new ideas or takes a walk with me.
New ideas.
New ideas.
I think it might be the walk.
I'm down with the walk because if we walking, I'm good.
You can do both.
You can, but this says only one.
Oh.
All right. Does anybody have anything they would like to say on tonight? Leaving with a positive, and we're done with our love series on tonight or today. We're gonna start something new next week.
Oh, I heard something. It was something earlier this week that I read that was talking about the potential that we see in people.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes that is false. That it's only us perceiving ourselves in a different position.
I seen that. And that
made a lot of
sense.
sense.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
does.
Y'all wanna? That's
I'll
y'all
let Uncle
positive?
Bo.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely mine. We have to realize at times that we see people and we want them to be this and we want them to be that, but really we're looking at ourselves if we were in their position. So be cautious.
Right.
Listen. If a person shows you who they really are,
You better
believe
watch.
that.
That's right. Believe what they show you and don't act like you do not see it. Amen.
I agree with Uncle Bo because I know. Yeah,
I got you. As that man on TikTok says, amen.
Yep.
Amen. Okay. All right. So, anybody have anything else to say?
Go
All
be
right.
great, I guess.
Huh?
Go be great.
Go be great. All right. We down to our benediction. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on today for another episode of the Let's Talk podcast. If you like our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and just share everything with everybody. We thank you so much for joining us. And to the next one. Peace, guys.